My name is Paul. I'm the VP of Ops at devCodeCamp, and today I'm joined by graduate as of 11 months ago, almost a year, Aaron Madison. And the reason why we are getting together today is we've talked to students when they graduate, we've talked to students when they accept a job offer. We wanted to dig a little bit deeper and track down some graduates who've been on the job for a while. So you've been at Northwestern Mutual now for how long?
I believe it's about 8 months. 8 months.
Months. And we were just off camera just talking about how things have been flying by. It seems crazy. You started at the camp in person and then you transitioned to all online. We've been doing everything online and it's been working out phenomenally. Can you give us a little bit of insight into how that might have prepared you for how you're working today? What's your day like as a software engineer?
I'm pretty much working right here at my desk at home. As far as things go right now, it sounds like that'll be my option, whether or not that's permanent or if I want to go back into the office. But yeah, I mean, I think the way it ended up happening is with my class, we graduated like right before everything started shutting down. So we were able to graduate in person, but the Beyond Boot Camp ended up being all online.
Yeah.
And so having that experience, that was my first Zoom experience. Every other job I've had obviously has been completely in person. So having that experience was very valuable for, this experience where I'm on Zoom calls every morning. My stand-up is on Zoom. All my meetings are on Zoom. I think one of my coworkers I still have yet to actually meet in person. Um,
It's weird. It's weird meeting
yeah,
people in 3D now.
right. Yeah, it's definitely strange.
So how has your boot camp experience at devCodeCamp prepared you for what you're doing now as a software engineer?
Yeah, so I think it's actually pretty perfect. I didn't end up working in the exact same stack that you guys were teaching, but it's all the same idea, really. Um, I think it prepared me very well because um, I'm working in MVC and API. I think we're doing Java. It's a little different, but yeah, I mean the the work is pretty much all the same, and languages are different, but at the end of the day, it's all about how you learn. And that's something that I found when I was working with you guys is I just needed to learn how to learn and how I learn and to figure out, what's my best course of action to learn a new thing. And having to learn, ASP.NET in 12 weeks really prepared me to be able to catch up just as quickly with Northwestern Mutual and the stack that they're working in. Um, because like I said, it was different, but I knew, and I even said in my interview, this stack that you're working in, I'm not familiar with it, but I guarantee you I can learn it. And my proof is devCodeCamp. I learned this stack in 12 weeks. I can learn this stack faster.
Yep. Yep. And we talk about it all the time. Even as active students, we say, hey, we don't know what stack you're going to be working in. We do know this. At some point, it's going to be new, and we want to prepare you for it. So, what types of things are you working on now?
So the team that I'm on is working on modernizing an app that was built, well, right around when I was born, actually. It's a Java WebSphere app that has like a C++ backend, and our job is to modernize it. Right now, we're leaving the front end alone a little bit, and we're sort of working on the back end, and we're converting it to be the new app is, I believe, going to be Spring framework. So it's still Java, but a little bit newer, a little bit more tuned to today's expectations, right? Because the current app, you click something, you wait 10, 20 seconds for it to pop up. It's a little rough. So yeah, they want to really modernize things and use current frameworks to make things faster and if increase efficiency in the workplace.
Yeah, it's so important to find people who not only have the skills to be able to dive in and modernize things, but have a desire to do so. I would imagine popping the hood on some applications, you probably were mortified to see some of the stuff in there.
Yeah, I think the very first thing that I did, um, just because they didn't have anything for me to do right away, they showed me this tool that they use to find bugs and code smells in their system, and he's like, "Why don't you work on the code smells?" And I looked in, and there was, I think, 315 just HTML pages that were using an old tag, and they needed to be using the new version of that tag. And so I spent like 6 hours just digging through dozens of HTML pages, just replacing a single line. And it was fun. It was a good time.
Yeah. So how have you seen your career advance now that you've been out there working 8 months? I remember you were doing sales before,
Yeah.
and now here you are, a software engineer. Talk to me a little bit more about how you were able to climb and advance.
So I'm doing very well here at NM. And I think uh, the hiring manager, who actually ended up being my manager, knew that I would from the beginning. He told me that I would advance faster than the usual developer just because of the team that I'm on and how quickly I learn things. But our team is very different from a lot of the teams. We only have 3 people. So it's really ownership oriented. Like I'm owning the pieces that I'm making. And that shows a lot more as to my ability, because one of the things that I was working on before we decided that we weren't going to replace it just yet was the new UI. We were going to make a React UI, which the Beyond Bootcamp really helped with that, because that was my only experience with React. So, um, but yeah, I dove in on that. I took full responsibility for it. I don't think anyone else even touched the code for that. It was all me the whole time, and they were really impressed as to what I could do. Unfortunately, we're only replacing one tiny portion of a major app, and we can't really shove one React page into a whole JavaScript web app. So we're putting that on hold for a little bit. But I think having that ownership of, your thing, this is my part of this project, really helps to advance your career faster and, accelerate you down the usual path.
Right. Well, and we talk a little bit more about that, before people typically start in the boot camp, but it's one of those things that everybody's looking for is, that purpose. They want to be able to point to that thing like, hey, I built that.
Right.
This is my project. This is something that, I mean, you're working for a huge company. Hundreds of thousands of people are using your code.
Yep.
That's got to be really, really rewarding.
Yeah, it feels awesome. It definitely feels awesome.
So, what advice do you have for um, those individuals that are going to be wrapping up devCodeCamp, graduation time, job search time? What tips and tricks do you have now that you've been out there and you obviously are immersed in the software development world?
Definitely. I would say the very first thing that I did, I got it from a tip from someone. I can't remember exactly who it was at DevCode. They said make a video of your capstone. Um, and I noticed that a lot of your graduates are doing that now, which is awesome, because I actually that video was seen by a lot of people in the community, and I actually got approached for a contract deal before I was even hired at NM that I looked at for a little while. Those videos are amazing for showing, who you are and what you can do to
Yeah.
potential employers. Um, and then obviously, just practicing every day, keeping current, learning new things is very important. Obviously, your team over there, they kept on me more than I think I kept on them with, here's a guy who wants to give you a job. Here's an interview. Here's another one. I think the day that I accepted my position at Northwestern Mutual, um, I got a message. I'm trying to remember who from your team messaged me, and he's like, I got another interview for you. Are you ready? We can do an interview today. And I was like, I just accepted a job. So pass it on to someone else. Um,
Absolutely.
but
Yeah.
it was awesome. Yeah, constant contact with, just get as many contacts as you can on LinkedIn and everywhere, and just
Yeah, build the network because, even if it's not people who are working in software development, they know somebody who works here or there. And I remember sharing that video out there and people were just lighting it up. And, you were the first one to do it. And yet you're right now. It's mandatory. We want our graduates to record their capstone, and it shows so many different ways to help understand who is this person that I'm hiring, what skills do they have. You get to see the nuts and bolts of an application that they went from nothing exists to an idea to research to 10 days later you've got this application that is amazing. Okay, that's somebody I want on my team.
definitely, definitely. Yeah, and that's the response that I got from basically everyone who watched it. They all said that they were surprised to see such advancement in, just the 12 weeks that we had, where, because I made it clear I did not know any C sharp before I went to boot camp, and there I was 12 weeks, 14 weeks later with this finished product that, like you said, it was amazing to me, and I think everyone else who saw the video.
Yeah, and now you get to do that, except you get paid to do it.
Right, exactly.
Awesome. Aaron, thank you so much. We're really excited to have you represent devCodeCamp in such a positive way. I've heard nothing but great things. As you know, we've got a lot of people that we know at NM, and I think we've got probably about 100 graduates there now, over
Yeah,
100 graduates.
there's a whole Slack channel for you.
And we hear good things.
Yep.
So again, congratulations. It's great to see how we were able to be a part of your journey.
Yep, it was great, and I thank you guys so much for everything you've done for me. It's been awesome. It's an awesome experience.